Gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to MGTOW Money. It's good to be back with you. Today's topic is going to be why you won't be a MGTOW much longer. Before we get to today's topic, yes, I want to point out there has been a hiatus in the videos that I've been doing. As if you haven't noticed already, I've been under the weather as due to some extensive travel I've had to do. Furthermore, though, I want to, of course, sincerely thank the ongoing support of the Patreon supporters of this channel, as well as those men that bought me a cup of coffee based upon the last video. Men, see today's video description. Consider being a supporter of this channel because we are moving this forward. Gentlemen, let's get on to today's topic, why you are not going to be a MGTOW much longer. Look, this specifically is going to apply to probably 80% of you. I'm guessing that based upon YouTube's demographics. Let's just say specifically those of you who are under 30, 35 years of age. Many of you men are evolving, you are changing, you're trying on different ideas, whether it be on politics, religion, beliefs, whatever. And of course, as one man mentioned in the comments section some videos ago, maybe MGTOW isn't the right way to go. Maybe it's not the way forward. And you know what? I get it. I understand that. Maybe it's not. It's certainly not true for all men. There are tremendous pressures, and I've mentioned this before, from society relative to coupledom and this especially applies when you want to get into a professional work environment. I can speak from my own personal experience. There will be tremendous pressure on you to get a date, to make sure that you are sort of paired up, especially when you start attending events. You will also face tremendous pressure from your family. Grandparents, a la your parents, are going to expect children, or in this case, grandchildren. I can assure you, again, I was dealing with that up until my mid-40s. Thirdly, you're going to deal with legacy issues and thinking about how can I ensure that I live on? I know one man in particular, a good friend of mine, who specifically had a child because he was concerned about his legacy. Also, it goes without saying, men, we all have, whether it be loneliness issues, whether it be biological sexual drive issues, etc. We all feel like that, well, if I get married and I get in this formal arrangement with a woman, that'll satisfy everything. Fair enough. I understand all that. I've been there. And with that said, I do have some action steps that you should take for the former MGTOW, for the man who's decided, hey, look, MGTOW's interesting. I think it's a really neat concept. I thought it's an interesting idea. It's a phase of my life that I've gone through, but I've decided to move on. That's fair enough. This is not a pejorative. I'm not attacking anyone for moving on with their life. However, here are some specific things that I recommend for former MGTOW brothers. Number one, most importantly, delay having children. If you choose to engage into a marriage, delay as long as you possibly can into that marriage in terms of push off for as many years as you can, procrastinate, if you will, as far as you can into the future, having children. If you're going to get a divorce, ideally you want to get divorced when you have no children. Once you have children, all bets are off. We're going to get on to number two. Start establishing now, and I mean today, some sort of secret stash of assets, whether that be cash, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, just some bunch of monies that you've got set aside. Maybe you can put it in a safety deposit box. Maybe you can have a lifelong friend hold it for you, etc. The point is, you want to have some money aside that only you or only a trusted person knows about. That it's kind of like, break glass in case of fire. You're only going to access that money if there's a specific emergency. And this can be especially important, again, when you're married. And I should also add, in case you don't have any money today, in case you really don't have those assets to get started, at least start thinking about a way to do it. At least start putting away a couple of dollars, a couple of euros. Just set it aside in cash, put it away somewhere where you know where it is, and forget about it. Number three, of course, it's been said so many times, get a prenuptial agreement. Again, this was commented on before. A commenter had mentioned about getting a quote-unquote ironclad prenuptial agreement that he knows someone that is using, etc. First of all, there is no such thing as an ironclad prenuptial agreement. Prenuptial agreements can be fantastic, in particular for short-term marriages where there are no children. And furthermore, this is important, where each side, the husband and the wife, the man and the woman, have each had their own lawyer draw up their own prenup, and they've negotiated and agreed upon a prenup. Yes, it does cost a lot of money. There's no question about it. However, this is the only way, legally speaking, once it gets into the court system, that you have to protect yourself. So again, I would encourage you, consider getting a prenuptial agreement. However, also be aware that once you're about 7, maybe 10 years into the marriage, and as I mentioned before, once children get involved, forget about it. You can almost be guaranteed that prenup is not going to be worth the paper it's written on. Judges ultimately are going to be the ultimate arbiter, and they can throw these things out as quickly as you can only imagine. All right, let's move on to number 4. Make sure that you can afford a lifestyle that allows your wife, your new wife, your future wife, to stay at home. I know this sounds very traditional. This sounds like some neoconservative type idea. And I emphasize also, even if children are not in play yet, I would encourage you, get your wife focused on staying at home, focus on taking care of your residents, even if you have to have a significantly reduced lifestyle, get her focused on keeping everything proper at home. Even if she wants to make a few dollars, hustle a few dollars here and there, doing something from home, doing something simple from home, her primary focus needs to be staying at home. Clearly, the probability of 2 stressed out individuals both maintaining full-time jobs, the probability of a successful marriage in that case is going to be very, very low. Therefore, I'm encouraging you to consider the traditional division of labor, if you will. All right, let's quickly summarize, gentlemen. Number 1, you're going to delay having children as long as possible. A divorce with children for a man is essentially a guaranteed catastrophe. It is going to be a disaster for you financially as soon as you have children. 2, have some assets quietly, secretly, if you will, set aside. Remember, I was talking about cash, or just something that you could quickly turn into cash. Maybe you've got an expensive watch, and you know you could quickly sell this and turn it into cash if necessary, and you're going to set it in a drawer or set it in a safe box or whatever it might be where no one knows about it. Number 3, prenup. Get a prenup, gentlemen. Of course, the argument is, oh, it's not romantic, and inevitably your future wife is going to say, oh, that's not very romantic. That's okay. You just explain to her, hey, look, it's good for both of us. It's going to protect you. Whatever you got to say, you sell it to her, gentlemen. Number 4, establish a division of labor. I highly recommend that you make sure you get a woman who is okay with staying home. Dare I say 80-90% of women are going to be fine with the idea that you're going to be the primary breadwinner. However, your expectations is that she's going to take care of the home front, etc. All right, gentlemen. As always, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do so now. Hit the like button if you found this useful. As always, John Galt, out.